What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be ranking all 32 Marvel projects that have currently been released in this video. Now, if you guys like these videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, as it does help out a lot. And let's just jump right into this. So, I guess we'll start here. I mean, I don't know why it's ordered like this, but yeah, I guess we'll start with Civil War, which is, in my opinion, the best MCU project currently. Now, I have recently seen No Way Home, so if you haven't seen it, spoilers. But yeah, I mean, No Way Home could beat it if I watch it some more. But like right now, I've only watched it once, so I'm gonna still have to give it to Civil War. I think that the conflict that like the Russo brothers bring, where like we have a reasonable reason for why the Avengers will split up, and we just have some great action with the airport battle scene, also with Cap and Iron Man fighting each other at the end. We have a great villain here in Zemo, who executes his plan masterfully to get the Avengers to break apart from the inside. And I mean, everything that happens here, besides the Russo brothers film, which are usually really good, I like 3 of them a lot. One of them not too much. I mean, I still like the 4th one, I guess. But yeah, this is amazing, and it is the best movie in the MCU. Now, Iron Man, gonna get some hate for this, but I don't like Iron Man too much. I feel like it's a good movie, right? It is a good movie. I feel like the villain's motivation really isn't too good, except for he wants to take over the company. That's his motivation. He wants to take over the company. Also, the action here isn't really too good. I mean, RDJ is amazing in the role at Iron Man, and like those scenes in the cave with him and the scientist. Yusuf, I think. Yeah, those were absolutely amazing. But when he came back, and then like the real plot started to pick up with him against Obadiah Stane, it didn't really win me over too much, other than RJ being very charismatic and likable. So it'll be in the B tier. I know a lot of people want to put it in the S tier. I'm just not there. I still think it's a good movie, just not a great movie. Thor. I'll put Thor in the D tier. No. It's really between C and D for me. It's not a bad movie per se. It's just like with MCU tier list. There's like so many good movies. I think it's actually gonna have to go in D, just because like there are gonna still be some very good movies in the C tier, and I think Thor's an average movie. Nothing really that much more to say about it. It's really an average movie. It does bring something new. I mean, the way it's shot is definitely new. It's just a tripod without one of the legs. It's all sideways angles. Also, I feel like the love interest, Jane Foster, really isn't too good. But Loki, I mean, actually, no, not even Loki, because Loki's like a little dialed back in this film. He's not really like more over the top like he is in all the other films, which really, like, he's still good in this film, but not as good as in all of his other appearances. And I feel like Thor did everything good. It didn't do anything amazingly, which is why it is going to be an average film, and like are actually below average for the MCU, because they have such good films. Because it really just didn't bring anything spectacular to the table. Okay, Infinity War is obviously going to be in the S tier. Infinity War it's just a great movie in general. The way that the Russos are able to bring this huge cast of characters and give each of them like basically a full character arc in this film, along with like giving the most development to Thanos, and Thanos is an amazing villain in this film. And then all of the fight scenes are obviously amazing, because they are Marvel movies in the 2010s, in 2018. So yeah, the fight scenes are absolutely amazing, and like the whole plot really is compelling, where you have like all of these characters, they're all come together to fight Thanos, and then like the big shocker then where they actually lose. I feel like that just propels it up a little, like just even higher, to where for me it's probably the third best Marvel project or MCU project that there is. Hawkeye. Now Hawkeye hasn't aired its final episode yet, but so far it's been really, really good. Uh, Kate Bishop is just absolutely amazing in this series, and I like the relationship between her and Clint Barton. Also, all of the intrigue behind, the criminal underground, and how Kate's mom is involved in all of this is really interesting. And then I feel like the showrunners knew that this show is just going to be like, it's not going to have as high stakes as Civil War or Infinity War, but it's still going to be very personal, and it ties into family. It's also a Christmas show, and I feel like it just knocks everything that it's trying to do out of the park, and that is why it is in the A tier. Avengers Age of Ultron. Yeah, I'm going to put this in the C tier. Recently rewatched it. I used to like it a good deal. Obviously, not as much as the other Avengers movies, but it was still a pretty good movie for me. But yeah, I just don't really like Ultron in this movie, which is the main villain of the movie. I feel like he's a little bit too much like Tony Stark for me. Which it gets annoying. I mean, one Tony Stark's fine, but two of them, and especially when one's just like a budget Tony Stark, yeah, that doesn't really work. But obviously, this film did a lot of good stuff. It just felt like way too crowded because there's just too much stuff going on. Which it didn't feel like that for Civil War or Infinity War because the directors found a way to just balance everything out. But here, it just feels like Joss Whedon is just trying to set up Phase 3 of the MCU, and it's not trying to tell a complete story of the Avengers. So that's why it's in the C tier. Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah, this is going in the S tier. As I said earlier, this movie is absolutely amazing. The appearances of all the five villains, and also spoiler alert, so I'll give you a few moments to click off. Yeah, the the three Spider-Man, but the two other Spider-Man from other universe coming in, and their banter in this movie is absolutely incredible. All the villains, especially Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, are absolutely amazing. I mean, Lizard and Sandman. I feel like Lizard was okay because he was pretty funny, but yeah, Sandman, like he was fighting Peter Parker and joining the other villains, even though he and the other villains had completely different goals in the fight. So yeah, Sandman didn't really make too much sense. I also feel like his betrayal at the start of the movie was just way too quick. I also have a little problem with how like Doctor Strange acted in this film, where he was just like, "Yep, okay, I can erase everyone's memory." But other than that, like this is just fan service through and through. The plot, I mean, usually with these like big team up movies, the plot really doesn't make sense. And I mean, I guess for this one as well, but like, I mean, the plot was fine, and then just all the big moments. Also, May dying and delivering the famous line, and just becoming this universe's Uncle Ben was absolutely amazing. And having all three Spider-Man relate to their father or mother figure dying was really good. So yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home is at number. It's probably my fourth best project right now. For me, at least, for the MCU, but who knows? It could even catapult into first. Okay, is this Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 or 2? This is 2. Yeah, this is 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put this in that tier. I do not like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 at all. I feel like, oh god, man, this is just like this. I mean, you've got three villains in this film, each one for the first act, one for the second act, one for the third act. The main villain, Ego, doesn't become a villain until like 20 minutes until the end of the movie. The first villain, the gold lady, she didn't do anything afterwards. She just like furthered the plot forward by chasing the Guardians around. And then the second villain, he didn't even interact with the guy's on ego. He was a mini villain with a mini subplot to Rocket and Yondu and Groot. So I feel like there were just too many subplots that didn't really intertwine together. He also split the Guardians up, which was one of the reasons why the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 was so good. It was because they all stuck together. No, we don't want that. We split them off. So yeah, I don't like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 at all. As time has gone on, it's gone worse for me. And yeah, it is gonna be in the F tier. Okay, we're gonna put Loki in the A tier. I feel like it is also, it's worse than Hawkeye, I would say. Because they're aiming for like such a grand, with like such high stakes of a story, that I feel like they fall flat on some of the things that they are trying to aim for. Likewise, the final battle is like, it's not really a battle at all, which I kind of like it because Marvel just tends to do superhero fights evil clone of themselves. Go. So they did something different, but it really wasn't interesting. It was just like a chat. It was just a chat, and then they had the superhero fights evil. I guess not evil, but Loki fought Sylvie, and they're based like they're the same person. So yeah, they had that as well. But yeah, Loki was just like a very interesting time travel story, and I feel like like they knocked out of the park on most of the plot points and most of the things that they were trying to achieve. They just didn't hit it on one or two, which is why it's going to be lower than Hawkeye, but it's still going to be in the A tier because it was still very good. Okay, Falcon the Winter Soldier. You can get in the F tier along with Guardians. I might even move Guardians of the Galaxy Volume up. Because I don't feel comfortable with like putting it next to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is far and away the worst thing in the MCU. The main villain, Carly Morgenthau, is absolutely terrible. They keep on making her try to feel like sympathetic, try to make you feel sympathetic towards her, which she's out murdering people. Also, like, the plot really doesn't make too much sense in this movie. It's clear that they just cut, like, large parts of the show out. Sharon Carter's reveal as the power broker, like, it was obvious, and it didn't make any sense at all. So, that's, like, something that you can achieve. Like, you had some people saying, no, it's too obvious, and like the reveal of her being the power breaker, it doesn't make any sense at all, so it can't be her. And then who guess what? It was her. Oh, the most obvious plot twist in all of the MCU. Yeah, I do not like the Falcon the Winter Soldier at all. I'm glad that I'll never have to rewatch it again. Okay. Black Panther. I'm actually gonna put Black Panther in the B tier. I used to have it in the A tier, but I think it deserves to be in the B tier. Black Panther was really good for the first two acts, but the final act, like, just really brings it down. Where just like the CGI looks bad. Like the fight scenes look terrible. It had an amazing villain, but it also, it had two amazing villains. But like, I just can't get over the final fight where it just like turns so cartoony and so like bad that it just brings the movie down as a whole. And even though Killmonger and Claw are both amazing villains, I wish that they just only used one of them for this movie and then kept another one for like future movies, right? But no. So it's gonna go in the B tier for me. Okay, Captain America: The First Avenger. This movie, I feel like, is undervalued, whereas Iron Man is overvalued. This movie is undervalued by the fan base at large, and I actually think that they are very close together. I love so first of all, Steve Rogers is like my favorite character in the MCU, even after No Way Home. It's not Spider-Man. It might be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man now that if you want to count the other two movies that Andrew Garfield has been in, but like if you're purely speaking about the MCU, Captain America is my favorite character, and this movie delivered a very good, debut for him in the MCU. Now, obviously, it is an earlier Marvel movie, so they were still like trying to figure things out. But I still think that this is a great movie. I think that everything works here, especially like the main theme that they're trying to give you, where it's just like you can be like anything. You can be disabled and you can still fight for a difference, just like Steve Rogers was. Also, I like all the scenes for him like fighting Hydra. Also, Bucky's death scene was really gut wrenching when you first saw it. Then when you learned he came back, it became less gut wrenching. But yeah, when you first saw it, it was just like, damn, they just killed off his best friend. And then also where they leave it off, where he sacrifices himself, I feel like that was very good. So he's going to go in the B tier, or Captain America, the First Avenger, that is going to go in the B tier for me. Okay, this is Iron Man 2, huh? It's either F or D. It's either F or D. Yeah, I think it's worse than Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll put it in D tier. Yeah, okay. This movie, like, obviously RDJ gives another great performance, but the villain doesn't really do too much until the final, like, 20 minutes. Um, the villains are not compelling at all. And, I mean, Tony Stark is pretty much just being an idiot in this film, so that's not good. Even though, RDJ is portraying him as a very good idiot. It's it still feels frustrating that it's like redid everything that happened in Iron Man 1, just like went, yeah, he's gonna go back to early Tony. I guess I like how Rhodey got the suit. They created War Machine in this film, but yeah, this is just like totally all over the place. Too overcrowded with plot points as they're trying to set up, the Avengers. And yeah, it's gonna go in the F tier for me. Iron Man 3 is gonna go in the D tier. Okay, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3. Alright, this movie makes zero sense. It would be better if it wasn't an MCU movie and was removed from the MCU continuity, because he blows up all his suits here, and then immediately after the next film, Age of Ultron, he has a lot of suits. He has super robots. Like, what's happening here? He just blew up all the suits. Also, this feels less of an Iron Man movie and more of like a Pepper Potts movie along with Tony Stark. So yeah, there's that. I mean, it still is a pretty fun movie, but like, Tony again is his worst enemy. Obviously, RDJ gives another amazing performance, but I mean, it shows that Iron Man's like maybe the most popular character in the MCU, and this is the final like solo outing of Iron Man, and there's a reason why, and the reason why is because this movie absolutely sucks. Okay, I mean, it doesn't absolutely suck. I guess it's a well-crafted film. It's just it just doesn't make too much sense in the MCU continuity, and it's really not that good. Okay, Ant-Man. I'm gonna put him after Avengers: Age of Ultron. Ant-Man's just a light-hearted, low-stakes film. That does what it sets out to do pretty well. Though it doesn't hit anything like out of the park. Which is why it's not higher up. It just does everything good, which is why it's going to be like even in the middle at the C tier. I mean, it's a pretty funny film. There's a really light tone, and you really get invested into Scott Lang as a character because of Paul Rudd's portrayal. But other than that, there's really not too much special. It's just a really average movie. I see it's slightly better than Thor just because of the comedy. But other than that, yeah, it's not really that special. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I'm trying to figure out how many movies I'm gonna have in the S tier. Wait, hold up. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna put it in the A tier, top of the A tier. Okay, top of the A tier. I think it's probably I'd say sixth best MCU project. Which lands it at the top of the A tier. I think this movie is just the funniest one in the whole MCU. The characters when they come together is just so good, and then they're all broken characters in their own way. They're all terrible people, and then they come together and do something very good. what really holds this film back is the villain, who's just pretty bland and has a really bland motivation. But obviously Peter Quill steals the show. So does Groot and Rocket and Drax. Drax is really funny. And Gamora is like the only like sane one of them all. So that's pretty interesting there. How she's just trying to like deal with all these crazy people around her. Um, so yeah, I feel like it's a very lighthearted film that also has some really big implications and some really dark like lessons. And I think it deserves to be in the A tier at number 6. Okay, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Do I want to put in the F tier or the D tier? Is the question. No, okay. Is it better than Guardians Volume 2? I think it is better than Iron Man 2, but is it better than Guardians Volume 2? You know what? I'll be nice and I'll put in the D tier. Okay, I'll be nice and I'll put it in the D tier. Now, when I first watched Captain Marvel, I thought it was like absolutely amazing. It had this great message of when you fall, you get back up. But that message was kind of like being over your head at the end of the movie. It wasn't really too subtle. Not really like a theme. More like yeah. This is the main takeaway you should take away from this movie. And when I went to rewatch it on Disney Plus, like later after I watched the film in theaters, yeah, I couldn't even get through it. It's really cheesy. I mean, Talos and Nick Fury are just absolutely amazing, but Captain Marvel herself is just not likable. She has an amnesia, which is like an overused plot point, and yeah, this movie is not really too good. It's not really too good. Really cheesy, not up to the MCU standards, and it just did well because people just went to watch it because it was the movie before Avengers Endgame. What if? Okay, I'm gonna put What If in the B. Yeah, not the C, the B tier. I think that What If tells some pretty good stories. Obviously, they connected all of the stories at the end, but the stories themselves feel very irrelevant, mutually exclusive. So, you don't really get invested into the show because you just see something and then you see something else and then you see like a completely different thing the next week. So, I mean, it tells good stories. It's just not very connected, which is why it comes in at the B tier. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Please. Yeah, this is gonna be at number 2 for me. This is gonna be at number 2 for me. Okay, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is an amazing film. It's a spy thriller as well as a superhero movie. The relationship between Cap and Bucky in this movie is really just what holds it together, as Cap is unwilling to fight his friend while his friend is brainwashed and keeps on beating him up until he finally snaps out of it and actually saves Steve Rogers at the end. The action here is absolutely incredible. And the plot makes sense with the big plot twist that Hydra is actually in S.H.I.E.L.D. this whole time. Was really, really well done. And all around, this movie is just absolutely amazing. Now, it doesn't have as high stakes as Civil War, which is why it isn't as high as Civil War. It isn't number 1, though it definitely could be number 1. But yeah, I just have Captain America: Winter Soldier at number 2, and yeah, who knows? It might stay there for the rest of time. Okay, Far From Home. I'm gonna put this in. Oh God, I really regret doing this, but I'm gonna put this in the C tier. Okay. I mean, it has a little bit of the Captain Marvel effect. For when I first saw it, I thought it was absolutely amazing, S tier material. Now I rethink about the plot. It really doesn't make sense. Why would Tony leave his glasses to Peter Parker? What's wrong with Rhodey? Also, I mean, Mysterio's an amazing villain, but his motivation is just like Tony Stark. This movie had Tony Stark motivation. This movie had Tony Stark motivation. This movie, Tony Stark motivation. I mean, where are the Tony Stark motivation? Tony Stark motivation. Tony Stark motivation. So, a lot of movies had that plot point before. And it really doesn't work too well when you have, one of your main characters, your lead character of the whole MCU, just create so many villains. It's just a bad look on the character, especially now that he's dead. He's dead now. Why is he still creating villains when he's dead? Nick Fury again was absolutely amazing, and the plot twist at the end that he actually wasn't Nick Fury was also pretty good. It's a fun high school comedy that just not comedy drama that just it has a flavor of superhero. It also has some major problems, which is why it's going to come to C tier. Thor Dark World. All right, it used to be the worst thing in the MCU, but after Falcon the Winter Soldier, it's the second worst. Okay, on the Dark World. I mean, it's not a terrible film. It just doesn't do anything good. Does most of the things below average. So you just this movie just pretty much just bores you to sleep. It's what's happening, which shouldn't happen in a Marvel movie. A Marvel movie should not bore you to sleep. So yeah, it's gonna go in the F tier. Spider-Man Homecoming. A tier movie. Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming, absolutely amazing film. Actually, it's not absolutely amazing. If it was absolutely amazing, it would be in the S tier. It's a pretty good film. Let me reword that. The villain in this film, the Vulture, is absolutely amazing. I also like the relationship between Tony Stark and Peter in this film. Now, what really sets this apart from all the MCU movies and all the Spider-Man movies is that this is a high school movie, first and foremost, and we see Peter Parker go through some high school problems, which is really relatable to basically everyone who's over the age of a high schooler. So yeah, that's all really good, and then the plot twist that the Vulture is actually his girlfriend's dad is also very good. So yeah, Homecoming's gonna come in A tier. Now Ragnarok. I think I'm gonna put this in the B tier. Gonna put this in the B tier because the villain Hela doesn't really have that good of a motivation other than she's evil and she wants to be queen. But this really, this movie is a very, very funny movie, and it's a big change in tone from the other Thor films, but I really like it. Thor becomes really funny. Loki in this movie, really funny. The Hulk is actually pretty funny, and it has big stakes. It destroys Asgard. Now, at some points, it can be too funny for its own good, but I felt like the film was endearing and it was really funny, as I said earlier. So yeah, it's going to come into the B tier. Now, WandaVision. I'm going to go in the B tier. I think the B tier is definitely going to be the most crowded movie. I can see maybe three more. Actually, yeah, there's two more movies three more movies that are going to go in the B tier. So, WandaVision. Yeah, it's gonna go in the B tier. Now the intrigue and interest and mystery in the first 7 episodes was really good. We want to know, how did Westview happen? What is Agatha Harkness up to? And all those questions. But in the end, it's kind of like Black Panther. It just fell on its face and then just became a good guy versus evil guy with the same power, with the same powers. And you had 2 of those. You had 2 of those battles going on at the same time. And the show that just was very groundbreaking and very different from the rest of the MCU it just became another MCU movie in the final battle. What's happening here? So I like it a lot because of the first few episodes, but at the end, it's just bad. It's just bad. So yeah, it's gonna go in the B tier. Black Widow. I'm gonna put it after WandaVision ahead of Iron Man because Yelena Belova is really good in this movie. The Red Guardian is very good in this movie. I really like the plot of the movie, and while some of the plot points don't make sense, like how would a flying ship not get noticed, why didn't Natasha just just break her nose and then just kill him right there? I don't know, but who knows? I guess you want information. But yeah, this movie is pretty good. I'm not really disappointed in like Task Master because I don't know Taskmaster from the comics, and I was perfectly fine with where they left that character off because I was not aware that he was supposed to be some big overall threat. No, I mean he's not even the main villain, or she I guess she's not really the main villain. So like, why is everyone getting so worked up about it? But yeah, as I mentioned, Yelena Belova just steals the scenes, and Red Guardian steals the scene as well. So you have two very funny characters. Yelena Belova just brings like all the emotions to the movie, and also to Hawkeye, which is one of the reasons why it's rated so high. And it's gonna be in the B tier. Okay, Avengers one. It's just Avengers. It's gonna go in the A tier. This is an amazing superhero movie. It created like the foundation for the superhero team up movies that these three movies would follow. And Loki is an amazing villain. It also sets up Thanos, which is the overarching threat for like all of these up I guess up until Endgame. Uh, And I just really like the dynamics between all of the six superheroes, along with Nick Fury, also Phil Coulson, Maria Hill. Like the dynamics with them. I also like how people harp on Hawkeye. He's useless. I mean, he is practically just took down the other five just like that. So yeah, I guess he's not that useless. And this movie might have the best battle scene in the Battle of New York, which this reference back to, this reference back to, this reference back to. A lot of these reference back to the Battle of New York just because everyone knows how amazing it was. Oh yeah, also this reference back to it. Okay, Doctor Strange. I'm gonna put this in the C tier. I feel like it's an average movie. I guess there is some intrigue because it is a magic movie, but it just feels like another Iron Man, except for done slightly worse. There's nothing really too interesting about this. I guess the stakes are high, but you don't really feel that the stakes are high. So because like Dormammu only comes until like the final 5 minutes, and then like all along it's just sorcerer battling sorcerer. So not really too interesting. Okay, the Eternals. Now I see a lot of people like hating on this movie. I think that it is really, really good. Obviously, there are still a few plot points, but I feel like Icarus just carries the movie. The plot actually makes sense, and Icarus's like grand plan makes sense. Also, his motivation for like why he is the villain also makes sense. Um, it introduces a lot of things to the MCU. And yeah, I just feel like that, like it's practically like it's a family movie where we've got 10 family members who are fighting each other. One of the family members kills the other family members. And yeah, this movie is really really good, and I don't know, like I left that theater like being amazed. Now it might have the Captain Marvel effect, the Spider-Man Far From Home effect, because I haven't seen it again, where it could drop. But like right now, I really like this movie a lot, and it's going in the A tier. Okay, Avengers Endgame. Maybe the most disappointing movie on this list. I guess I'll put in the heights of WandaVision. Yeah, we had such high expectations after Avengers Infinity War, and the more I think about this movie, the more I don't like it. It's not very good. I mean, the final battle is absolutely amazing, but other than that, like the plot is not good at all. They just wanted to get to the final battle where they just brought everyone back and had a big battle against Thanos. I mean, the new Thanos even really isn't too good. So yeah, I don't like this movie at all. I feel like there are too many plot threads going around. The use of time travel, it's not too good. And yeah, it's gonna go in the B tier. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll put it slightly ahead of Ant-Man, I guess. These two films are very similar tone, similar execution. Basically, it's basically just the same movie, except for this one has the Wasp. And this one ties into Infinity War and Endgame. That's basically the only thing that they changed. So I guess I'll put it slightly higher. But yeah, it's gonna go in the C tier. Shang-Chi. We're gonna put this in the A tier. Shang-Chi is a very, very, very good MCU movie. And I really like the villain. Now, I do have some problems with the villain, even though I liked him, where, the main villain, Wenwu, got tricked by another villain, which they just brought out after 10 minutes till the end. Alright, we need some big bad. Who cares about the dad anymore? Let's bring some big monster into it. So, yeah, it felt really weird in a martial arts film that they brought a big monster into it, but I guess it's fine. I didn't really like mind it too much. I feel like his best friend Katie was really likable. And I didn't really like the sister too much, but I guess that was fine. She was like the side character. And obviously Shang was really good. So this movie's really good. The plot and the villain are all pretty good, which is why it's going to be in the A tier. And the Incredible Hulk. I'm going to put this in the D tier. Okay, this is really just like the bastard of the MCU. It doesn't really, even more so than Iron Man 3. It just doesn't connect to anything at all. We've got a different actor for Bruce Banner, and yeah, I just really don't like it too much. I guess it's not terrible, which is why it's not in the F tier, but yeah, it's not the greatest. It is not the greatest film. It's really forgettable. Which is why it's going to come in the D tier. Okay, well, anyways, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys did, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Too easy!